Good morning. I'm Will Schofield, the Superintendent of Schools for the Hall County School District, and I'm coming to you this morning to continue to give you information about three specific areas. Please forgive me this morning if I look at some notes, but we've got a lot of ground to cover, and I know everybody's time is valuable. First of all, we'll be talking about what the Hall County School District back to school plan looks like. Second of all, I want to make all families aware, and when I say families, I mean families that have students in the Hall County School District, that you should be expecting to receive a survey via email in the next couple of days, which will give you some options about where your comfort level is and what you would like to choose in terms of a method of schooling for your family for at least the first semester of this school year 2021. And finally, I want to give you an idea. We have been hard at work for the last several months, but we'll actually start getting into a few of the specifics about when we do begin school, what the first 15 days of school will look like for teachers, staff, team members, and students in the Hall County School District. So first of all, in terms of a back to school plan, we fully anticipate being back to school with a brick and mortar opportunity in the Hall County School District sooner rather than later. I think it was last video that I sent out, we made it clear that from our standpoint, COVID is here for the foreseeable future, and we are going to have to do everything that we can to figure out how to coexist, if you will, with COVID. Another thing that you're going to hear us talking about over and over again is that it is during these times of unprecedented change, it is during these times when we feel these anxieties and everything changing at such a rapid pace, that if we're thoughtful, if we're deliberate, these will be the times that provide us opportunities to become better than we've ever been before. You know, one of the things that I've talked about for 25 years is that schools, if they're not careful, can start becoming stale, can start becoming a factory model, can start looking at the same old over and over again based on chronological age. And while I certainly don't wish COVID on anyone, and I wish that it was not a reality right now, I'm also aware that these are times that we can create some new models, some new ways of serving our community, some new ways of serving boys and girls that maybe we would have never come upon had we not been forced to because of a crisis. So first and foremost, it will be our intent to give parents some options. But for those that cannot go to work, for young students that are falling further and further behind, with their literacy and with their numeracy, for students who have aspirations to complete certain courses so that they can continue their education in post-secondary and beyond. We are doing everything we can, and we'll be ready to go with a number of models sooner rather than later. First of all, I've shared with you before our water wheel, if you will, and you should see it on your screen right now, of the different areas that we've had work groups looking at in terms of things that we're focusing on right now and making sure, first and foremost, and it's number one for a reason, is communication. That is the purpose of today's video. And again, we are going to use all of the methods that we possibly can. You should stay. I hope you're staying if you're a social media person. I am not, but we certainly are using Facebook. We're using Twitter. We're using our district webpage, hallco.org, to push out information to our community just as it becomes available. By the way, sometimes I get questions, why aren't you telling us what this is going to look like? Why aren't you telling us what that's going to look like? The truth of the matter is, with the situation changing daily, what we are doing is working through a number of different scenarios. And what we don't want to do is get people thinking that school is going to look a certain way when conditions change in 3 days and we have to make a different determination. So I'm going to spend some time today just very quickly telling you some of the things that we do know, but keep those questions coming. Our PIO is working on a list of frequently asked questions, which we hope to see posted in the next couple of days. And keep those questions coming because, again, we are here to serve you, our community. And we can only do that if you let us know what your questions are. So in terms of outreach and communication, we're going to do our dead level best to get you information as we know it. Last night at our call board meeting, we certainly passed a preliminary budget for the FY21 school year. But what is probably of more interest today is we talked about what school opening will look like in Hall County, and in particular got down even to what the first 15 days of school will look like in the Hall County School District. As you go to number 2, what you see is mental and physical wellness. Again, we're being told that perhaps as many as 25% of the student body of this country, that's 53 million boys and girls that are in public K through 12 schools, are experiencing trauma, significant levels of anxiety, and mental health issues since they have been at home and isolated for the last several months. And also, let's just be real honest, that happens with adults too. I haven't met many adults, myself included, that aren't feeling some levels of anxiety. That it's been a long time since I've had this many unknowns working in my life. Be assured that we are doing all that we are capable of to try to meet the needs of our students, as well as the big folks, the adults that work in our school district, to provide the best possible experience for everybody involved. So physical and mental wellness are certainly a priority, and you're going to hear more and more about that as we move forward. As a matter of fact, next week we will train an additional 250 staff members in trauma mental health awareness, and we're gonna keep that momentum going as we move into the FY2021 school year. Next, what you'll see is instruction. After we make sure that everyone's all right and that everybody knows what the plan is, we are here to teach boys and girls. And from a teaching and learning perspective, here's what you can expect for next year. And again, you're going to get what I think of as an incredible survey that our folks have put together in the next couple of days. It's going to include videos explaining what a virtual decision looks like for a family. It will be different than what you experienced this spring. Quite honestly, we went home on a Friday and had no idea that school was over for the year, and we had to shift to a digital format. And I think we'll have some videos coming out to you in the next couple of days that will allow you families, you parents, to make some decisions based on, do we want a brick and mortar experience or do we want a virtual experience based on information. So again, we're going to be spending a lot of time in the first 15 days of school ensuring that our teachers have the requisite skills to be able to effectively pull off virtual learning, as well as using some of those same resources in classrooms that perhaps we wouldn't be at that point. And it's a positive thing if you do choose a brick and mortar experience. So that kind of handles what's going on in terms of the big bullets of instructions. In terms of operations, here's an area that, again, it's a brand new world for us. When it comes to student orientations, I know that we're all used to the excitement of going to a child's school, and sometimes mom and dad, sometimes grandparents show up for a school orientation. Quite honestly, we don't see that happening on that kind of a scale this year. We are going to be doing everything we can this year to limit the number of outside individuals that come into contact with your children, with your schools. And so at this time, we will have some time set aside. You'll see that on the first 15 days for kindergarten parents, for 6th grade parents entering middle school for the first time, for 9th grade parents and families entering the 9th grade for the first time, and for any student and family that is new to our district, we will have face-to-face, in-person orientations that will be socially distanced and planned well in advance. For the rest of our students and our student body and their families, we will have virtual orientations. I know that that is certainly different from being able to come and actually meet your child's teachers one-on-one, but we will be utilizing Zoom meetings. We'll be utilizing technology to the best of our abilities, giving parents and families the comfort levels and the communication levels that they need. But once again, we have to make some decisions to keep our children safe this year. The other thing we'll notice, and I would just beg you not to have your feelings hurt, not to be angry, is we'll be doing a lot less of showing up with some treats or some goodies for a child's birthday. And again, individuals coming in and out of the school, in and out of the classrooms, unless it is absolutely necessary. And that in no way says that we do not want to partner with our families and our community. What it says is we will do everything we possibly can to keep our students safe and to keep them exposed to as little as possible. Face coverings, without a doubt, it will be required for all team members. That's all individuals working in this school district to wear either a face mask or a face shield when they're in the presence of other people. At a minimum, it will be highly encouraged for all students to wear face coverings. We have not landed yet because quite honestly, the information about students wearing face masks falls on both sides in terms of yay or nay. We highly encourage all students to wear them. We are not at the point yet where we're saying face masks are required of students, but that is under consideration. We will be having mandatory hand washing training, face-to-face covering training, how to wash your face coverings, what social distancing looks like, and we will be creating some videos and getting those out to our families so that you can go over those with your children before they return to school. So a lot going on in terms of operations. In terms of technology, Dr. Aaron Turpin and his team have been working tirelessly to ensure that we have additional hotspots, that we are getting Chromebooks and having the capacity that if and when we have to go from in-person to virtual learning because of temporary outbreaks, that people will have access to learning and learning resources. And once again, also that Eddie Millwood and his team have been creating, and let me just be real honest, a virtual experience will not be the same as a face-to-face experience, but we will do everything that we can to create a rich and robust experience for those families that choose a virtual offering. In terms of facilities, Matt Cox is working with a number of vendors, with a number of consultants, with our own people, ensuring that our schools will be clean, that they will be sanitized, that we'll be taking care of high touch points, that there will be markings on the floors and signage around our buildings in terms of best practices. And again, that is just something that we're working on, and it's a whole new world, and we'll have those in place when we begin school. The one thing we haven't talked about is temperature screenings. It will certainly be our intention to screen all temperatures of adults and, to the best of our abilities, all temperatures of students when they get to school every morning. We will have isolation rooms set up where we can take individuals that have high temperatures or have any kind of symptoms of COVID and get them separated, taken care of, immediately contact families, and get them the care and the diagnosis that they'll need to ensure safety for all of our stakeholders. Let's talk a little more about that survey and what some of the options are that you're going to have as families in the Hall County School District. First of all, you'll have a very straightforward option, and there will be videos that explain what the virtual option looks like, both in English and Spanish, of whether or not you want a brick and mortar experience or whether what you would really like is a virtual experience. Your comfort level just isn't there yet. Those are two options that you will have. Unlike a lot of districts around the country, we're not requiring that you make that determination now. There's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that you don't know. However, if you are in a situation where you know your child is going to participate in brick and mortar, face-to-face, back to school, that would be very helpful for us to know right now. If you're also a family that says, I don't care what you do, our children will not be participating in face-to-face, it would be very helpful for us to know those numbers now. So we encourage you, if you've already made that determination, please let us know. But we also are going to be asking you to let us know if you are undetermined at this time. And that also is helpful information, so we can reach out to you, make sure you're getting the information that you need to make an informed decision about the education of your child and when we come back to school. So that being said, again, just bear with me as I move on to what you can expect in terms of the first 15 days of school looking like. And again, I want to say this twice because I know it will be misinterpreted. You see some dates on this graph right now with teachers coming back to school on Monday, August 3rd. That is based on the information that we have today. Obviously, that could change in the next month, and that August 3rd date could be moved. What do you mean that could be changed? Well, for instance, we could have a state order that no school no public school will take place until after Labor Day. We could have things delayed a couple of weeks. We could have incredible spikes in local cases of COVID. So just be aware that right now we have a calendar for the FY21 school year. Teachers come back August 3rd. However, I do want to point out to you that some things have changed, that when we start school, whether it's August 3rd or August 10th or sometime later, here's what the first 15 days are going to look like. We have heard loud and clear from our leadership. We've heard from around the country that we're going to have to do school in a different way to keep students and staff members as safe as possible. And we're going to need some time to train our own staff and what those processes look like, to be 200% accountable in those processes. And so you can see that when we come back to school, we actually have 7 days with our staff where we will be working on traditional pre-planning activities, helping our teachers be equipped and ready for a blended learning opportunity, whether that's for students who choose the virtual model or for students who may have to go home from time to time because of COVID. And we will also be spending time doing significant amounts of trauma mental health training for our team members. What I would ask you to look at, and this is the one you could be thinking of as families, is we will come back to school a little different during that second week of pre-planning. So once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 the next Monday and Tuesday with just our staff to get protocol and procedures in place. On day 8, which would be a Wednesday, if we begin on a Monday, we will have half of our student body come back. And what we will do is take that day to train them in safety protocol and procedures. And then on day 9, we'll take the other half of our students and train them in safety protocols and procedures. And then you'll see that on that Friday, day 10, in terms of coming back to school, there'll be no students. That will be the opportunity for us to say, what lessons have we learned in the last couple of days? What do we need to modify to make this as safe of environment as possible? So that again, on day 11, which is that third Monday, we will hit school with those families that have chosen the brick and mortar option with those procedures and protocols fully in place. Something I would like you to notice, and once again, please do us the favor, if you know your child is coming back to full-time school, to let us know as soon as possible. If you know that you're going to choose the virtual option, to let us know as soon as possible. But we're aware that these are unprecedented times. And so what we're allowing for is on that third Friday, day 15 of us coming back for the 2021 school year, parents will make their decision as to whether they want to be virtual or in-person learners. And this gives you some opportunity to get some information, to get more comfortable or less comfortable, if you will, with an in-person education, knowing exactly what the protocols and procedures are going to look like. And again, we'll ask people to make a determination by day 15 for what they would like for the first year of school. So once again, that is some basics of our back to school plan. Continue to check our website, check Facebook. We're going to put a lot of this down on paper. Keep those questions coming. Again, one of the things we're working on is a frequently asked questions and answers for our families that want to know more about what's coming. Expect to see that survey coming to you in the next couple of days. And if you have not received that survey by Thursday, please contact your school principal and say, I haven't seen the survey that I was told was going to be coming my way. Quite honestly, people's emails change. They've been entered wrong in the database, and we want 100% of our families to walk into the FY2021 school year with their eyes wide open, knowing exactly what to expect and being given all of that incredible autonomy you deserve as families and parents and step-parents. These are your children. You need to take the driver's seat and make these determinations, and we see our job as making sure you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. Finally, we've gone over what the first 15 days looks like, and this is the second time that I promised I'd say it to you. You see August 3rd on that calendar. August 3rd is what is on the calendar right now. Please be aware that that could change, and it would change based on circumstances beyond our control. And we'll let you know as soon as possible. So once again, I want to tell you, first of all, as a dad, we see this as a sacred trust. We are going to do everything we possibly can to meet your needs as families. And again, our motto this year is going to be thriving, not surviving. This is not a year for us to clamp down and say, I just hope we can get through it. I hope we can hide in a bunker until this is over. We are seeing this school year as an opportunity to provide you with some options to make our practices better than they've ever been, and to make you certainly satisfied and proud to be a member of the Hall County School District community. And it's going to take us all working together. You know, it was Will Rogers who said we got to kind of give and take in this old world. If there's ever been a time when we need to give and take, when we need to be flexible, when we need to understand that anybody who says all you have to do is fill in the blank, then from my perspective, that individual doesn't have all of the information. So we will do the best we can to meet your needs. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to work with your boys and girls. We will care for them. We will care for each other. And we are looking forward to an incredible school year in the Hall County School District. I hope you have a great day.